What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is my Hawkeye review and breakdown for episode 1 and episode 2 that just dropped this morning on Disney Plus. Brand new Marvel show for us to enjoy for the winter months in the lead up to Christmas. Now, Hawkeye is a show that I wasn't that interested in. The trailers weren't that exciting, weren't anything amazing. And Hawkeye's not a character that I absolutely love, but of course I'll give it a check out because it's Marvel and it's a brand new show. There's definitely some interesting things to tackle in this show with the past traumas of Clint. He's been an Avenger for a very long time. He's lost his friends, especially Natasha, Black Widow, in Endgame, and then he became Ronin as well, a killer. So there's a lot to deal with. I just hope that the show goes into those stuff and doesn't just hit them on the surface. Marvel at times doesn't go as deep as it probably should, but hopefully this series can explore that. But we open up the show Episode 1 in 2012, which of course is the Battle of New York, the first Avengers movie, and we see a young Kate Bishop listening to an argument or a discussion between her parents, and Haley Steinfeld in this episode was fantastic. I should say that as well. But yeah, they're having a fight. She kind of has her last moments with her father before he dies. Definitely a sweet moment, and I think there's definitely more to his death and more to the backstory and what's going on with Kate Bishop's mother that we'll see later in this episode. But we get to see from her point of view the Battle of New York, the aliens, the Avengers taking them on. We don't get to see any other Avenger, only Hawkeye. And this is where Kate Bishop became a fan of Hawkeye, where Hawkeye became her favourite Avenger because he saved her life. There's an alien coming towards her, and then Clint shoots one of his arrows, and it's able to stop the alien from just crashing in or just killing her, really. And we get to see a point of view from her watching Hawkeye at the top of this building, taking down some aliens. Awesome stuff right there. And then he runs away from an explosion. So I don't know if this is new footage. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen Avengers assemble in a long time. But this is pretty cool right here. Awesome shot. And I would have liked to see more of the Avengers maybe pop up from a different angle or from further away, Hulk or something like that. That would have been awesome. But then we have the funeral for Kate Bishop's dad. And then she talks about how she needs to protect her and her mother, and she wants a bow and arrow, which is setting up her origin story to being the Kate Bishop that we find in this series. And also, in the opening credits, we kind of get like an animation of her upbringing. Like she was into ballet, she did karate, stuff like that, archery. So that was cool that we were able to see that, but it didn't spend that much time on it either. So it was just pretty cool to just go over. But then we're in present day, and she's at a university, or she's away at campus, and she is having a bet with somebody, and she's trying to hit the tower which has the bell in it to see if the bell rings when it shakes or there's something inside the bell that makes it ring, but then she hits it and it actually falls down, and the clock tower falls down as well, and she is caught doing this. So pretty funny moment, of course, but also pretty dangerous if the whole thing collapsed. But yeah, that's basically what we see. And then we get to see Clint at the Steve Rogers musical with his family. They're not having the best of time. It's not a great musical. It's very cringy at times. I don't know, would you go see an Avengers Assemble Broadway musical? I'm sure it would be better than this, but it's too much for Clint because it reminds him too much of his friends, and one of the actresses is playing Natasha, which is very hard for him, and he gets up and leaves. And that's what I'm talking about. The show can explore this side of Clint hugely, but will they? Will they go deep into it? The PTSD, maybe some depression as well, because he dealt with it a lot when he became Ronin, and he very much regrets being Ronin, and he has to live with that now as well. So I want them to explore this. But he gets up, he goes to the bathroom, and he gets to see this. Thanos was right. And I wonder if there's a lot of maybe cults or movements out there that believe Thanos was right, because some people will be poor. Like, of course, in our world there is people who don't have homes, or homelessness, hunger and stuff like that, and maybe Thanos was right. Maybe if half the population was wiped out, there would be more resources for people. But this guy here very weirdly wants a selfie in the bathroom. Clint kind of brushes him off, and he goes outside to get a bread. And that's what I'm talking about, the PTSD, dealing with the past traumas that I think the show should definitely go into hugely, because it's something that we got to see maybe in Iron Man 3, but wasn't really brought up that much more in other movies or shows, when these people who are real life people are playing these superheroes and have to deal with some real shit. They really do. But we get our introduction to Vera Farmiga, who is in the series. She's a great actress. And also we get Tony Dalton from Breaking Bad. He's fantastic in Breaking Bad. He's just such a good actor. So when these two were cast for this, I was like, wow, Hawkeye may have the best cast ever of any MCU project, because the actors in this are astonishing. They really are. After the death of her father, her mother is in a new relationship with Tony Dalton's character, and it's great to see Tony Dalton in this show. He's a fantastic actor, and he's being painted as the villain right now, but I don't think he is. But then we have this character Armand who's having a conversation with Kate at this charity event, and he doesn't seem pleased that Kate's mother and Tony Dalton's character are in a relationship together. He doesn't like it whatsoever. Then we're introduced to the character Pizza Dog, who will be with Kate Bishop and Hawkeye throughout this series on a number of missions, which is pretty cool, and I'm sure a lot of kids will love this. A cute little dog who's missing an eye being an Avenger. That's pretty cool, and the dog does have some cool moments in this series, and he's eating pizza. That's why he likes pizza, so that's why his name is Pizza Dog. But Kate sees a discussion, or maybe even Armand threatening her mother. She's eavesdropping, and yeah, she's a little bit worried about that. And then she follows Armand, who is going down to this kind of underground auction that's completely away from the charity event, which is pretty sketchy in its own right. So she's wearing all black, so she's able to blend in as a waiter at this auction. And Tony Dalton's character shows up as well and sits beside Armand. And they're auctioning off Ronan's sword, which Tony Dalton wants to buy as well because he's big into sword fighting, which is kind of sketchy as well. Why does he want Ronan's sword? And remember, Ronan was Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame when he lost his family due to the snap. But then this big explosion happens, this gang comes in, they're looking for a certain item, which is Tony Stark's watch, and then you have Timothy Dalton's character is able to steal Ronan's sword. But then Kate Bishop sees Ronan's costume. She puts it on to fight these bad guys, these criminals. Now, she is very, experienced in terms of karate, ballet, stuff like that. But she's never really fought physically before. And here she's doing pretty okay. She's able to take down these guys who we later find out is the Tracksuit Mafia. Pretty interesting name. And there's a cool action sequence here. It's not anything amazing or anything, but she's able to hold her own. She's able to take down these guys. And these guys look at her as the real Ronan. They think that she is Ronan. And then outside, this guy, he finds something from the Avengers compound, which is Tony Stark's watch, which will probably be a lot of money, or maybe a certain character, we'll find out in episode 2, wants this watch for a certain reason, but she's able to get away. She's able to save Pizza Dog, from traffic, and the Tracksuit Mafia lose her, but they think it's the real Ronan who was around when the snap happened. And Hawkeye, he met a lot of people when he was Ronan, and he gained a lot of enemies. He's back at the hotel with his family, and he sees breaking news that Ronan has returned. He's like, what? I'm Ronan. What's going on? So he needs to find the person who is impersonating him to stop them. Because remember, he killed people when he was Ronan. He was in a very dark place. He had lost his entire family. The opening to Avengers Endgame is actually fantastic, where he's having a picnic with his family, and then the snap happens, and he loses his family one by one. Like, that's just so scary. And what was it, for 5 years the snap was? That duration where you were just losing your family. Crazy, crazy stuff. But also she goes to Armand's house, Kate Bishop does, and she finds this suite. And this suite becomes very important in episode 2 as well. But Kate's kind of trying to figure out what's going on. Why was this auction happening away from the charity event? Why was Armand there? Why was, Tony Dalton's character there? Because she's already sketchy of him already, and now he's with her mother, so of course she wants to find out some dirt. But she finds Armand dead. He's been killed, slashed with a sword, which, come on, Tony Dalton's character just took Ronan's sword from the auction, and he really, really wanted it at the auction as well. So look, come on, all the signs are pointing towards Tony Dalton, but I don't think it is him at all. Kate Bishop, of course, scared, runs away from the crime scene, and the Tracksuit Mafia catch up on her and want to kill her, want to take her out, of course. And there's a few of them. But then Clint, of course, he's hunting down this person who's impersonating him, and he shows up to save the day. And then he's about to punch Haley Steinfeld's character, Kate Bishop, takes off the mask, and he sees it's a girl. Not just a girl, but a little girl, a teenager, but she's actually 22 in the show, but like from his point of view, it's just like it's a kid impersonating him. She's like, oh my god, it's Hawkeye. And then Clint's like, who the hell are you? Because Hawkeye is her hero. Hawkeye saved her when she was a kid, and you have Clint like, who the hell are you? You're a kid wearing this costume that you should not be wearing. That's where episode 1 ends. Overall, I thought it was a pretty enjoyable episode. I like the Christmas theme because it is nearly Christmas, and I like Christmas, and it gets you in the Christmas spirit as well with some of the songs, some of the decorations, and just the feel of the show. So episode 1 for me was fine. It's a little bit slow in places, but I am intrigued by the mystery about what's going on with the auction, Armand, Tony Dalton's character, Vera Farmiga. I am intrigued by those things a lot. The action was just okay, but there was a good bit of action in it as well. There was 2 action sequences, which was pretty cool. And Clint, played by Jeremy Renner, is a likable character. He's been around since Tour 1, so that's fantastic that he's getting his own show. So yeah, I'm in this show. I'm ready to watch it. I really am. And I'm not fascinated by the character of Hawkeye, but I'll watch it for this show. It's an entry into the MCU, and I want to be part of the discussion, of course, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. But guys, did you like episode 1 of Hawkeye? Did you think it was okay? Did you love it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm very interested. But Clint wants to make sure that Kate is okay. They go back to her apartment. He wants the suit. She takes it off. She gives it to him. And he wants to make sure that nobody's seen her face, because she would be in a lot of trouble if they did. But of course, the tracksuit mafia followed her back to her apartment when she was dropping pizza dog there, and now they know that Kate Bishop is Ronan. This is very, very bad for her, and now Clint has to fight against the tracksuit mafia, who he has encountered before in the past, and they're throwing in these pipe bombs into the house. Pretty cool sequence here where Clint is able to catch one and throw it back as well, but there's just too many of them. They're throwing too many of them, and the apartment starts to go on fire. So Kate and Clint and the dog, they escape, they get a train, they go to a store, and Clint says he'll come back for the suit after. There's kind of a funny, cute moment between the two of them in the store. Kate's like, is this what it's like to meet an Avenger? Why don't we just go to a safe house, the Avenger Tower? And Clint's like, well, Tony sold that a few years ago. Because it's funny, because Clint is just a guy. He's not tech savvy, he's not an alien, he's not a god. He's just a guy, a human being like her, and he just wants to help people, and he just wants to be an Avenger, but people look at him like he's some kind of a god. He doesn't really like that whatsoever. But they're able to go to Kate's auntie's house, who's away, and Clint says, stay here, don't leave, lock the door, I'm going to go and get the suit. And then Clint goes to the apartment again, which was on fire. He disguises himself as a fireman. He just walks right in, which was pretty cool. And Jeremy Renner, look, he's a movie star. He really is. He's not been in amazing action blockbuster movies that aren't Marvel movies or anything, but like that, he's a good actor. He's fantastic in what he does. But he goes in, he can't find the suit, and then he puts the suit back in the fire truck, and then he sees this kind of logo for New York City LARPers, and he's thinking, if somebody wanted a costume like that, then maybe they would be associated with that. He goes back to the apartment. Kate hasn't bandaged herself up properly. He wants to help her, and he does it right. So that was a cute moment as well, showing that Clint just cares and he wants to help people. And then he searches up the New York City LARPers association or whatever it is, and he finds somebody who has taken the suit, because of course, like anybody on social media, you post what you're doing, and this guy posted a video of him in the Ronin suit, which was pretty funny as well. And now Clint knows exactly where to go and who to go to find the suit and to get it back, because he probably just wants to get rid of the suit, burn it, get rid of it, because there's so much that's happened in the past because of that suit. That's kind of what he was when the snap happened, and yeah, it's definitely something that he needs to get rid of. He sends his daughter, his 2 sons, back to their mother. They want him back for Christmas. He says, I promise. So it looks like this story will be about Clint trying to get back home for Christmas. Kind of like a die-hard element to it, which is pretty funny. Then the news that morning, we get to see that it's all over the news that Armand has been murdered, and that a masked unknown person left the scene, which of course was Kate Bishop as Ronan in the Ronan costume. Then I like this scene between Hawkeye, Clint and Kate, because she's talking about, look, you need to brand yourself more, because people are dressed up as Hulk or Iron Man or Thor. Nobody's dressed up as Clint, as Hawkeye. And he's like, I don't care, it's not about that for me. And he's an Avenger. He just wants to help people. He sees himself as somebody helping people. He doesn't see himself as a hero. He sees this as something that he has to do for people, which I found very interesting. And Kate Bishop is like, you're a hero, you're a superstar, act like it. Because we see that at times where he doesn't really want to get photos with people. He just want to be acknowledged. His dinner in the restaurant was paid for with his kid. He didn't really want that, because he just wants to live his life and just be himself, not to be on a throne every single time he meets people. So he drops Kate off at her mother's business, which is a security establishment. He thinks that she will be okay, but she gives her his number anyway. And he's like, don't call unless it's an emergency. And she's like, oh, I'll call you later. He's like, don't. He thinks it's all okay now. But she's talking to Tony Dalton's character, who she's very wary of. She thinks that Tony Dalton's character has killed Armand. The sword, he bought a sword. It's just connecting for her that he is the big baddie. And I don't think he is. I actually think it's her mother. I think her mother is the big baddie of this series, which we'll find out in the coming episodes. I just think it's all pointing towards her, and all of this with Tony Dalton's character is just like a thing to keep you off her tail, which will be interesting. And Tony Dalton's great on screen. He's fantastic to watch, so he can definitely pull this off. But he even said that he bought a stepdad book, which was very, very funny. So yeah, he brings that to this show, which is fantastic. Then we see Clint at this live action role play battle to get the suit from the guy that took it, but he's not allowed in unless he partakes in the event. So he has to register, he has to dress up, and he has to compete in this live action battle, which was pretty funny. He doesn't want to dress up, he doesn't want to register. They ask him for an email, he's like, it's classified. Those things were pretty funny. So it was awesome. It actually reminded me of the thing that was in Role Models, that comedy with Paul Rudd, where there's a big battle at the end where people have to dress up and they fight. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'd actually like to do that. But, you know, he's just walking casually. All these people are coming towards him to try and kill him, because if you get stabbed in the stomach, you die. And he's just like one hand taking them all out, which is pretty funny. He's an Avenger. You're not going to be able to stop him with a rubber sword at all. I just thought that was very funny. And then he just, all these people, and you know, Clint is just not impressed by any of this whatsoever. But he eventually meets the guy who took his suit, and he's like, I can take this suit from you physically, or I can use this fake sword and stab you with it and then take it. You choose. And the guy's like, you're Hawkeye, you're an Avenger. And he's like, I'll give you my suit, just let me kill you. And Hawkeye's like, what? Yeah, just let me kill you. It'd be good for my reputation if I was able to kill an Avenger, you know, good for my rep. But then we have Kate being called by this police officer asking about the fire, where she was last night. So she's already a suspect right now, and that's something that's going to develop over the next few episodes, of course. And then back at this role play battle, which was pretty funny, pretty hilarious. He's like, we have to sell it. We have to actually fight. And Clint's like, just kill me. No, it needs to look realistic. It needs to look real. So they fake fight, and the guy kills Clint, and he's a hero. Everyone's cheering. And that was hilarious. So now Clint can finally get back the Ronin suit. And him and the guy actually become friends. He's like, don't call me Hawkeye. Call me Clint. That's my name. You know. So that was pretty sweet. Fist bump between the two of them. And Clint's just a likable guy. Jeremy Renner's such a likable guy as Clint, as this character. So, you know, he just wants to treat people on the same level as himself. He doesn't want to be treated because he's an Avenger, because he's Hawkeye or anything. He's a reasonable enough guy. And this scene, for me, showed it. He's like, the guy's like, loosen up, have some fun, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, I love this scene so much. And these little, look, there's not a lot happening in this series so far. It's just Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner are fantastic in the roles. And if they were bad actors, this show might be unwatchable or just shit. It really would. But then we have Kate kind of interrogating Tony Dalton's character about, oh, you like swords, you like weapons, do you, and stuff like that. Do you fight a little bit? And of course she is one of the best, or she was one of the best in the state at sword fighting, and the two of them kind of face off because Kate wants to prove that he's a liar. She thinks he is the one who killed Armand, and she's able to get a few shots in, but you know, Tony Dalton's character's holding back. Then she goes for his face, and he just blocks it with ease, you know. But she's just very sketchy of him. She really is. But I definitely think it's Vera Farmiga's character. I think she's the big baddie. I think she's the villain. I think the argument between Kate's father and her was over something maybe that she does. I don't know. I really don't know. Then Clint is captured by the Tracksuit Mafia. Is that a really cool name or a terrible name? I can't tell, but the Tracksuit Mafia are actually very funny in their interactions between each other. Their one-liners, they're just very funny, but also they're pretty intimidating as well, and they're able to hold their own. So they have Clint, and they're able to tie him up, and Clint just wants to speak to their boss. I think he wanted to be captured by them anyway, but he just wants to talk to their boss and sort all of this out. But yeah, there's a funny interaction between the two of them here, this guy and then the other guy that's a part of this Tracksuit Mafia. And Jeremy Renner's just fantastic in the role and what he does in terms of how he presents the character. But then Kate Bishop is able to find where Clint is because it's a security business that her mother runs. She's able to find him because of his phone. She finds him, but she falls through the roof, and yeah, she's captured as well. And then one of the Tracksuit Mafia members goes to their boss, which is this woman right here. You're probably thinking to yourself, this big reveal for this character, I don't even know. Well, this character is called Echo, and she's deaf. And she's confirmed to get her very own Disney Plus series next year, which is pretty interesting. And also, what's more interesting is that she is the daughter of Kingpin. Yes, Kingpin. And there has been rumours that Vincent D'Onofrio will return as Kingpin in this show, in this series. Yes, the Netflix characters are crossing over. There's also rumours that Maher, Daredevil, will be in Spider-Man No Way Home, She-Hulk, and the Echo series, and eventually we'll get a season 4 on Disney Plus. So is this setting all of that up? And why does she want Tony Stark's watch, Iron Man's watch, so much? So, very interesting. It's an interesting reveal. This character obviously can't be completely bad if she's getting her own Disney Plus series. Well, Loki did, and he was kind of a villain, but yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting that she is the daughter of Kingpin. And will Vincent D'Onofrio show up? He's been liking posts, liking tweets. You know, he said he was excited to watch Hawkeye, so I definitely think that Vincent D'Onofrio will return as the character in the Hawkeye series. Not in the early episodes, not in the next one or the one after that, but maybe later down. There's 6 episodes altogether, so maybe episode 5 or episode 6 we will see him. But why does he want Tony Stark's watch? Or maybe she is just trying to get it for her father as a present, or to get his kind of, you know, just to get on his good side or something. I don't know. But it actually was a big reveal if you research the character Echo, this deaf character. That's why she had her hand on the speakers. That's how she listens to the music. So that's interesting. She's over the tracksuit mafia, and she wants something pretty badly. For whatever reason, I'm not too sure. But guys, what was your thoughts on Hawkeye episode 1 and episode 2 so far? A bit slow, but I enjoyed the mystery element of it. I hope the show gets a little bit more better as we go on. I just think at the moment, Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld are saving the show because of their acting, because they're terrific actors. But I want more action, I want more character depth, I want more development in this mystery as well. I think there's a lot more you can do with Jeremy Renner and his PTSD as Hawkeye, definitely with Natasha, with being an Avenger, him losing his hearing as well. We actually got a quick kind of shot in the series as the reason he lost his hearing is because he's been in so much battles, which is pretty cool as well. And I actually think this series so far has been pretty grounded. There has been no kind of supernatural villains or anything like that. I know the opening shot was a New York battle, but other than that, it's been pretty grounded and actually refreshing for the MCU, because there's always powers or magic or aliens or space or something like that. But here it's just a man who is an Avenger, who is Hawkeye, who wants to get back to his family for Christmas, and he's trying to help out this young girl who's going through a tough time and caught up in this messy situation. So far, it's pretty grounded, and I actually like that. It's refreshing. But guys, thanks for watching my review and breakdown for episode 1 and episode 2 for Hawkeye. It was a bit of a long video, I know, because it was 2 episodes released today instead of just 1. Next week's one will be shorter. But guys, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for all this movie, TV, news, reviews, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next week, or just click on any of the videos. I cover all news content. You guys will enjoy that. But if not, I will see you for episode 3 next week of Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Guys, thanks for watching, and come follow me on all the socials as well. Have a good one.